Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
The last heat of the top dog. Who can believe that?
Incredible.
Get some anything on my PC. So I haven't arranged for anybody particularly to do the speaking tonight. So should I do it, or does anyone else?
Yeah, you can do it, Jill.
Oh, thanks.
If you start it off, we'll all chip in.
That sounds like a good idea. Shall we have a run through first?
And then I'll dissect for running. Get rid of this. Right, we shall. I've forgotten what I'm doing already. Slideshow. Slideshow. There we go.
Wow.
30 really nice images tonight. So,
Yeah, I'm going to start by saying it's going to be really hard to
Mm.
down to 6 or 8 because there's some brilliant pictures in here.
yeah,
So well done, everybody.
it's a really good thing this
Yeah,
time.
fantastic.
So the first one is refraction.
Yeah, this one is a real optical illusion, isn't it? I just love the way you've done this. And yeah, it's doing really weird things to my eyes. I have to say,
Yeah.
it's supposed to. So, yeah, this is amazing. I love the kind of like chevrons going up and down, and the colours and everything. It just works. So, comments from anyone else? I just think it's amazing.
Brilliant.
I would like to iron it.
Fantastic.
I'll tell you one thing. I'd be tempted to try, and it's only to see how it looks. I'd be tempted to cut it in half and flip half of it so that the glasses are going. So the stems of the glasses, I'm assuming that's what they are in the middle. So some are going up and some are going down. If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It might work, but
I agree. Yeah, yeah.
it is so good. Really, really.
They're slightly different sizes though, Jill, so they might not meet up.
But are they? I thought that. I think it's an optical illusion.
Yes.
It's difficult to see on my screen actually, but it's very, very clever and very well thought out. Whoever did this, excellent work. Anyone else want to say anything?
Yeah, the black line through the middle.
You get rid of it, do you say, Derek?
Yeah, I think if you on the white bits, you could take it out, and because you haven't got it on the vertical where the chevrons meet. So if you took it out across the horizontal, I think that would improve it.
Yeah, I think you might be right there. Very, very good start though. An excellent picture.
Yeah.
So are we voting on these? Have we got the voting system sorted tonight?
Well, it was working when I signed on, Jill, so we give it a try. Are we ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. If everyone else is ready.
Yeah.
Yay.
Going to be 100%.
Problem is, most of them are going to be 100%.
Right, now, everybody's voted, so now I think if I hit, sorry, I've never done this, although I guided Lorraine through it. I think if I do what I'm about to do, you'll all see the marks, but I'm just going to play safe and write it down.
Fair enough. Always an idea to keep play safe.
Has everybody?
Yeah.
No, you haven't got it?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got it now.
Should have it now.
Oh, I've seen those.
I'm going to try and put the score in. If not, I'll do holdback.
I mean, the score's not really important. It's just whether or not we're over the 60%.
Yeah. Why did it let me do that? It did that last time, didn't it? Oh, hang on. There's something I have to do because of that whole thing, isn't there? I've forgotten what Phil said now. Alt tab.
I'm glad we all know what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's the poll thing that messes it up.
Sorry. Right. Are we? Can I stop sharing the results?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Girl in the window.
Girl in the window. This is a lovely sort of reflection, not reflection as in terms of pondering things rather than there's something being reflected. I do love the rain on the windows, and I love the muted colours, and I think it's a very nice portrait. Only thing I'm thinking about, most judges will say, oh, that your sitter has to be looking you straight in the eyes, and this one is, but for me, because she's wistful, I kind of like to see her looking off in the distance sort of longingly. But other than that, I think it's a really good picture. Other comments? That's just a personal thing.
Nicely framed
Mhm.
in the paint.
Is it absolutely plumb?
Is it absolutely plumb?
Hmm.
Explain.
Well, I'm just if the glazing bead is vertical, I'm saying.
Oh, I see what you mean. It may not be, but that doesn't bother me particularly.
It's a lovely picture.
It is it's a lovely portrait. I'm actually wondering if you cropped it just a tiny bit.
Yeah, I think it's better with a crop off the
I think
left-hand side and the bottom.
if you crop it just a little bit, then you've got more emphasis on her face.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it is a lovely picture.
I think if you just moved her right eye away from the frame slightly, it would take her hair in from the other side, wouldn't it? It would
That's a good
just
comment.
take that shadow away from.
Yeah,
But if that's just nitpicking,
there is a bit.
it is nice.
Mm.
I think it's on a slight. It's not straight on, is it? So it is on slightly on an angle, which is why it doesn't look plumb or whatever.
I don't think it needs to, though. No,
I don't think it needs to either.
Are we ready to vote?
Yeah.
Yep.
Everybody voted who's going to, because we've got one who hasn't.
Yeah, people don't have to vote if they don't want to.
No, but what I don't want to do is end
Understood.
the polling if someone's still thinking about it.
Quite right.
Right, I'm going to end it now.
Oh no, don't.
Yeah, I've had enough.
Okay.
Susan, do you need me to write these down or are you okay?
I'm not writing them down. I'm just holding them back. So that should give us the
Okay.
ones we need at the end. I don't think we need the
Idea to write them down just to be on the safe
that
side.
don't get through. No.
You've got what you need?
Yeah, in the bathroom.
Yeah, this one kind of reminds me rather of the in isolation competitions in the bathroom. I really, really like this. I love the way you've used the colours. I mean, blue and yellow are wonderful complementary colours in photography, and the colours just really, really work on my screen anyway. They look fantastic. So I love this image. I love the fact that it's all wobbly.
Yeah, I like that about it. The abstraction, the it's like impressionistic, really. I like this one.
Yes, I just love the colours. Well,
Nice.
I like the way I'm sure it's been taken through glass, the kind of bathroom type glass, but with the glass in the background, so it gives it an added dimension.
it's glass and glass and glass. Yeah, it's brilliant. I love it. Anyone else? I think we might be ready to vote on that one then.
Good. Yeah, I think we are.
Good to go.
Okay. We've all voted. And that's another yes.
Not surprised.
Susan, tell me as soon as I'm just waiting till I'm seeing the picture come up again, but tell me when you want me to stop sharing, if that's easier.
Oh, right. Sorry, I'm just closing my.
No, no, that's fine.
Sorry, I've forgotten the name of this one.
I think it was something to do with reflection.
Field, yeah.
Something to do with pinching field.
Pinching field through the looking glass.
Yeah, this is another very clever image. I really like the sort of like, or it almost looks like one of these snow globe balls, you know, with a where you shake it and you get a snowstorm kind of thing. It's very clever. The only thing that bothers me just a little bit is the background being so out of focus and so different from the main ball that my eye is going to it, and there's very bright, particularly over what is on my left hand side of the picture, you know, where the bright white houses are, and my eyes sort of going to it, and it's taking away from it. I'd like that just toned down a little bit, and I don't know whether I'd want the little bit of the greenery in the foreground, not sharp, but just a little bit more sharp than the rest of the background. I don't know what anyone else thinks.
Yeah, you could pillar box it a bit, couldn't you, and take the sky out as well, maybe. But I see what you mean, Jill, about the background not sort of matching up with what's
There's just something that's jarring a tiny bit on my eye. I mean, I think the idea is really clever, and I love the reflection in the glass, but the background is taking my eye away from it a bit.
I think that could have been solved by just going in a bit closer on the lens ball, really.
Yeah.
Keep the background, but just go a bit tighter in so there's less of the background. But I think it's a good image.
I think
it could have improved by cropping it top to bottom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or perhaps
Turn it
even
upside
square
down.
crop.
Yes, make it square.
Yeah.
Square. That would work. Oh yeah, very, very well thought though. Very well thought out. Very clever idea.
There's a dust bunny that needs to go in the left top corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so there is. Well spotted. Well spotted, if you pardon the pun.
I just love the globe. If you actually
The
throw
globe.
the globe on its own, it's just
The globe is just wonderful. That's why I think you should crop really tightly in on it, so that
it's an interesting shaped globe, isn't it?
it's fantastic. It's fantastic. They're very cleverly done.
All done? Ready to
I haven't
vote?
got a score sheet.
We don't need a score sheet.
Sorry, I mean, I haven't got anything to score on. There's nothing come up.
Not
No,
yet.
that's why I haven't launched it yet. So I'm saying, are we ready to poll?
Sorry.
You're ahead of us. You're ahead of us.
I'll launch.
Stuck on my head.
We have lived off.
Really think that there's, I mean, if you crop that in, you've got quite a special picture there.
Mm. Yeah, you could easily use that in a PDI or something.
Oh, yeah, definitely, definitely.
So we clearly didn't want it to go forward.
I think it's got a future though.
Mhm.
Yeah, definitely. Fruit juice in a jug.
Fruit juice in a jug, did you say?
No, fruit juice in a jug.
Oh yeah, clever.
Like saying that if you've had a drink.
Yeah. This is another very clever image. I'm assuming you didn't really squeeze the fruit into that jug. It was taken behind it. Also. Very cleverly done. I love the reflection. In this instance, I do really like the key line because the key line is picking out, is it supposed to say fruit? Because that looks like a pepper to me.
I was going to say it looks like a red pepper, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does look like a red pepper to me, but I do like the key line. I think that as an image, it works really well. I love the simplicity of it. I love the fact that everything in the background is black, but you've got the light sort of going around the shape of the actual jug. I think that works fantastically well. So yeah, I think it's a beautiful image.
The colours are lovely.
Yeah.
I do disagree a little bit about the key line. I just think the key line should be a light colour, a grey or a pick one of the whites out rather than the red. I think the red just, your eye just goes to it. But it takes nothing away from the image, but I think it would have been a little bit better with a white or an off grey, you know. A personal thing. It's a personal thing.
You probably could have got away with blue as well, I think.
I wondered about the blue.
Yeah, I'm not sure coloured key lines really work, to be honest. But there you go.
Both sides could have been in closer though.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, maybe. I quite like it as it is though. I think it's a very nice picture.
Ready to vote?
Yep.
Everyone said all they want to.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one more person to vote if they wish to. If not, I'm about to stop the polling.
Oh, right on the line.
Oh, back.
We're going to wind up with about 20 in this, you know.
Yeah.
Another evening.
Yeah, definitely.
Reflections.
Reflections. Okay, this is interesting because when it came through, I was trying to work out exactly what it is I'm looking at. It really is another optical illusion. And I do really like it. I love the colours. The only issue I have is that as it's this black bit, this black corner. I understand why it's there, but it's kind of incongruous with the rest of the picture. And I'm trying to imagine it. I'm trying to crop it in my head to see if it works without it. But actually thinking about it, I think you do need the shape. What does anyone else think?
I think it would benefit from a square crop from the top left. Just to where the grey line intersects the top. You get a perfect square, and you wouldn't have the anomaly of that black corner.
Yeah, you may be right. Actually, the square does work. Yeah, it is very interesting. I'd love to know what it was and where it was taken. The colours again are lovely.
Yeah, there's enough interest within those cubes, as Steve said, to have a square crop of just the cubes, whereas that is a distraction up at the top.
Yeah, I'm finding it a little bit. Yeah. but it's a really interesting thing. The shapes and the different colours and what have you, and patterns in the bottom are fascinating.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because when you first look at it, you see honeycomb, and then if you go further to the left, you've got kind of staircases, and then
yes, true.
you've got square shapes as well. It's fascinating.
It is.
Mind you, this could really be just part of a gigantic spaceship, and and we're looking at another spaceship in the top right-hand corner, and you can see some stars there. So
I think you're right.
This
I
could
think
be,
you've got it, Brian.
yeah, this could actually been as it was seen up in space.
There is an alien. There is an alien in there. I can see it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure stars are quite that well aligned as they're in a very straight line, but yeah.
Orion's belt.
Oh, just going to say exactly the same words.
It is in actual fact the concert hall in Reykjavik, the interior.
Right.
All right, well done.
No, it's an interesting picture. I would personally crop it.
I still think it's part of the Borg spaceship.
I like the spaceship idea. Right. Polling?
Okay.
Anyone else want to vote? One last person?
Obviously got someone who's a bit shy.
No, it's my image.
You're allowed to vote.
You're allowed to vote for your own image.
I'll abstain on this occasion.
Okay. Sorry, Alan. It is a good picture. I would try the crop.
I like it.
Yeah, I think
I did suggest it, but I was overruled at home.
The shard, 11,000 panels of glass.
One,
Qualifies
two,
then.
3, 4, 5, 6,
Come back next week, Brian.
9.
Hang on a minute. I've still got the host sharing poll results in front of me. Has everyone else got that?
Yeah.
I have closed it down.
Well, I've still got it.
You can close it yourself, can't you?
Yeah, you can.
Close it yourself.
All right. Okay. All right. So I have. Okay. Now you can count away.
What's this one called?
11. Hang on. 1, 2.
11,000.
You lost count, Brian, I think.
The shard.
The shard, 11,000 panes of glass.
Okay.
It's not just the shard either. There's a lot of other panes of glass in other buildings around this. I like the treatment you've given it. I have to say, on my screen, I'm missing the top of the shard, but that's probably because Zoom cuts things off.
I've still got the poll results.
Get rid of them. Shut it
Close them, because I have closed them at this
No, I've got
end.
it. No, it's gone. It's gone.
Oh,
So,
shut up.
Treatment, this one.
Uzo's making an appearance.
Oh, what's Uzo? Is it? Yeah,
Oh,
clear.
she's shouting. She's on heat.
Right. It's rather like a cyanotype blueprint.
Yeah.
And it's grey.
I'm actually wondering if it would
Oh, it's
look
quite blue on my screen.
really interesting. It's mono on mine.
Grey and white for me.
Unless it's my eyes, of course.
No, well, my screen's not.
It's those glasses you keep wearing, Brian.
Yeah.
It has got a blue tint to it.
All right, so I'm not seeing that.
No, mine's grey.
It's not brilliant.
Grey.
But I do like this. I'm wondering about. I'm actually wondering whether I would have made this more of a letterbox, a vertical letterbox, because all that stuff on the this thick stuff on the the left-hand side of the screen as I'm looking at it. That's a bit of a distraction. If I take some of that out, it hones in on the shard a lot more, and it makes much more emphasis on the actual glass itself and the panes of glass itself. And I also wonder whether it could do with a bit more contrast. What do people feel?
Yes.
I think more contrast.
Yeah, a bit.
I think you could crop it another way as well. You could crop the whole of that right-hand building off and just have because I quite like the pattern in that left-hand side.
All right. Okay. Well, the pattern is good. I just find it distracting from the shard itself.
Yeah.
It's personal tasting, but it's an interesting picture and
isn't it?
A different take on the shard. Yeah. Well done. Anyone else like to say anything?
It's hard to say whether that left-hand bit is glass. Has it got glass windows, panels or something in it?
I think it will. Knowing what's around the shard, most of the buildings around the shard are full of glass.
Glass, yeah.
Look like balconies, don't they?
I think it's one of those offices where the windows sort of stick out in a V shape. Does that make sense? So they just protrude and in an angle.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
I interpreted it in my head as, it could be completely wrong, of course, but that's what it said to me.
I think so. Right.
Interesting and a different take.
Right, all done. End and share. You should have the results.
We are a hard lot, aren't we?
I think we're always fairly hard to please.
Well, I think in this particular scenario where it's going through, the results look harsher than they actually are. That makes sense because it's a yes or no.
Yeah,
Lens ball madness.
I think this is stunning. I had no idea how you did this, but I love it. I love the sort of the abstract feel of it, and the almost 3D feel of the ball in it, and the limited use of color, and the white key line, I have to say, does look perfect in this. Brian, do you agree?
Yes, I like this one, and like I say, if you've got a black background, I think just a white or an off-white key line works better. But this is an absolutely stunning image. It really is. The way the light trails just make that shape that it does. It's not a particular shape, but it suits the image. It fills the frame, and you're catching some of those light trails in that globe as well. And you've really controlled the reflections because part of that globe is jet black, which is the same as the background. So this is a very, very well executed image.
I completely agree. Anyone else like to make a comment?
Looks a bit musical, doesn't it? Looks like a stave of music to me.
Yes, yeah.
It really does. You must expect to see little notes in the background there. Yeah. Yeah,
Very well proportioned.
Yeah. Excellent picture.
Can I just ask, is it Zoom that puts this? Is it Dicentra or Zoom that puts this green line around the outside?
Green
line.
Green line?
Yeah.
Green line.
My whole must be.
Oh, it's because you're sharing your screen, I think. Are you sharing a screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a bit off-putting for mine.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Because we're not seeing it.
No, oh, that's good, because you're probably seeing a better image than me.
Okay. Another one that's gone through.
That doesn't surprise me.
No,
I'd have been a bit shocked if it hadn't, to be honest.
Yeah.
Murano Fish Aquarium.
Okay, this is a slightly different take on the glass theme. Yes, if anyone's ever looked in the shops in Venice and you see how expensive Murano glass is, that somebody spent a lot of money on these fish, maybe, if indeed they are actually Murano glass. But this is a bit of fun. Would I have liked the background blue or textured? I don't know. What do people think?
I think
It's a
the
bit
background
too white, isn't it?
makes it very bright, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
one- and it just bleeds out. Some of the image bleeds out, doesn't it, into the white?
you could. I think a texture rather than a colour, I think, would work.
Yeah.
Just to take that white background down, and you could also always paint the texture off of the fish. But I like the muted colours. In fact, I love the muted colours. It's just that the whites make it a bit stark.
Having seen,
And I think it takes the whites being so bright, take away from the beauty of the glass and the colours as well.
The colours.
Can you just run a filter down over it just to quieten the whole thing down and bring a bit more of the colour to the surface and suppress the background slightly, just with a simple filter?
Yeah.
having seen the original of this, Zoom hasn't done it any favours, because the original doesn't look as white as this.
Yeah, that's interesting. It is a problem that Zoom does degrade.
Yeah, I think that's a problem that you have maybe with a whitish background, so you have to be a bit careful.
Yeah, good comment, Susan. Yeah. Right, we ready?
Right. Everybody's voted. You should have the results.
The next one is Glass Street.
Okay. I do like this picture. There's a thing that is bothering me just a little bit though, and that's the two big glasses on either side of the image aren't sharp.
No, they're out of focus, aren't they?
They're out of focus, and it's bothering me a little bit.
Yeah.
Focus is somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, focus is
Either
half
needs
my
to be
back.
at the front or the back, and I think for me it should be at the front, and that's just concerning me just a little bit.
This is a prime candidate for focus stacking.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been all
Yes.
absolutely pin sharp. And another slight niggle for me is it's very close to the edge of the frame. Would have liked a bit more in front of the front glasses.
Yeah.
Not much more, but a bit more.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think the idea is very good. But I think it's with something like this, with glass, either like the previous image lent itself to softness, the pastel colours, the soft, the soft image, that type of glass. But this, because it's cut crystal, I think they should be razor sharp all the way through.
Yeah, what are the bits sticking up on the left?
All glasses, I think.
Talking glasses, yeah.
I find those a bit distracting.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're meant to be chimney pots.
Yeah, I don't mind this because they look like,
Yes,
yeah.
Glass Street. I didn't mind those, but yeah.
Do you think it's because it converges in that you're not getting the focus?
I don't
think
know.
so.
I think it's
It's
just
a depth of field problem, isn't it, Susan?
Yeah.
It's
Depth of focus
depth of
problem,
field,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, I think you'd be hard pushed to get that in sharp, even with F22, all of it, to be honest with you.
There is a thing called much simpler than focus stacking. Is it called hyperfocal focusing?
It is, yeah.
Where there's a sweet spot on every lens.
Yeah.
When you do the settings, you think this is never going to work, but it does. And there's a piece of software. There's several actually that you can get for nothing, and you put in your camera and the lens, and it tells you what the hyperfocal setting is. And if you're careful, you get it exactly right, and everything will be in focus. And it's astonishing, but it does work.
It's a great key line on this. I do like the colour of the key line.
Yes, the key line
Yeah.
isn't.
It's nice, a nice off-white, probably picked up from one of the areas on the glass. So yeah.
So yeah, it's a great idea. I think it just needs a little bit more focusing, really, for me.
All okay?
Yeah.
Oh. I'm afraid that's another no.
Frozen on me, hold on. Glass ceiling.
And I'm looking, I tell you what, I'm looking at the my eye is going straight to the actual cross beams, and I'm looking at that thinking that looks like Smithfield Market to me, or one of the London markets. Smithfield's has got market blue and white like that. So yeah, sorry, I went straight to that rather than the glass. I do like this. It's the sort of picture I would have taken and kept, and I enjoy it. I love the colours of it. It's a bit busy. The only thing I'll say is a little bit busy. I'm having trouble with my eyes sort of resting anywhere. What do other people think?
Yeah, I think you're right there, Jill. It's there's no focal point, so to speak.
Yeah, no, you keep looking around it, don't you?
Yeah, your eyes just wandering around it. So not much you can do in a picture that's sort of patterned. Like this.
You could square crop it and cut that whole left-hand side off, and then it would just
yeah,
a bit more of a focal point.
Yeah, it does improve it. Yes, because your eyes then leading down into the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worth going back and trying again. These pillars look interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the pillars look nice, don't they?
Yeah. I think you could do something with them.
I think if you got directly under the intersection of those two steel trusses and you did an upshot with a wide angle, it would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Or a fisheye, if you had one.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And the steel filigree work at the corbels of the columns, that creamy white, that's beautiful, isn't it?
I mean, on a plus note, it is absolutely pin sharp all over that. Yeah. Technically, I mean, I rather like it as it happens, but technically, it is. I like the colours, like the muted colours. I do agree with the arch coming in on the left-hand side. I think if you crop that arch out, but kept that filigree in on the bottom there, then you would have a circle for your eyes to complete.
Yeah.
But yeah, I rather like it, and I think technically it's excellent.
Perfect.
Quite like that idea, Brian, because actually you'd have that arch coming out from the corner then, wouldn't you?
You would, yeah. The arch would come right out from the corner. You would be led up to the cross members, which is almost on a third. It's not far off of a third. And then you'll come down to the other junction point down there. You've got and then you'll be forming one triangle in the bottom. You've got another triangle on the right there, and you'll have a third triangle up in the top right hand corner, and that would improve it no end, just to get rid of that truss.
Yes, it would.
I think that's another one that you could use somewhere else in another competition.
Absolutely.
Just playing around with it.
Are we ready to vote?
Yep, I am.
Everybody's very quick to vote tonight, or over the last few.
Not as much fun as singing and.
I've been asked to sign in.
Cancel. I don't know why that's come up. Why has that come up?
I'm being asked to sign in too.
Did you get the results, Susan?
It was a no.
It was a no, yeah.
Move it on. There we go. Framed.
Okay, this one made me laugh when it came through on the runs. Very clever, very, very well seen. I just love the fact that his head is in a frame on one side, and we've got no head in the frame on the other side. That just works brilliantly. I think this is a great piece of street photography. I love it. What does anyone else think?
This is very well seen, and the juxtaposition of the two people in the frame, one with a body, one without, is brilliant, I think. And to capture that head, so it's a frame within a frame. The only thing that just jars with me a little bit is the inclusion of the outside scene on the other side of that bar on the left-hand side.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I just crop that tiny bit in, and it's a much tighter picture.
Yeah, you could have kept the frame. You could have kept the frame, or some of the frame, but the outside of it is absolutely superfluous. Yeah, I think that's very, very well seen and well kept, technically very good as well.
Brian, I agree with you on that, but it's not really a subject. It's more of the people, not just glass, isn't it?
Good point.
Well, it's true, but without the glass, you wouldn't have the frame, I guess.
No, you wouldn't.
But yeah,
No.
I think the point there, Jackie.
And I think the rules of the competition said it could be something taken through glass, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any more? I shall launch the.
It's a bus stop, isn't it? Just realised.
Yeah, I think so. Looks like it.
Good spot.
What are we on? 16 of us, right? We're done, and that's a no.
Surprises
What?
me.
Got the skull come up. I haven't got the. Oh, that's right.
Oh, weather's close.
Very close. Very close.
Oh, it's a no, even though it's a yes.
It's a no. Yeah.
Pardon?
It has to be 60%.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's tough, isn't it? Never mind.
Bottoms up.
Yes, is another one that looks like the some kind of enchanted forest to me as well. From seeing trees tonight, I love the effect of this actually. The fact that the in this instance that the others are out of focus isn't bothering me at all, because they're getting more out of focus the further away they get, and I can feel the distance in it, and it feels right. And I just think this is actually rather clever. What does anyone else think?
Well, I was going to say, would it look better if it was turned upside down because of the type of bottoms
Yes,
up?
I was thinking that, Brian.
But I've just seen the bottom of the glasses in the top of the frame, so it works.
Yes.
Are you with me? I can see what the author has said, bottoms up. So you've got the bottom of the glasses, which is up. You're looking up at them. Because initially I thought, oh, turn it upside down. Fits the title. It would work either way, to be honest.
It would look very different. It would be interesting to see actually. Yeah, I just think it's a simple idea really, but simple but nonetheless clever, because who would have thought of doing it? I certainly wouldn't.
No, and like you, I do like the other glasses need to be out of focus in this particular one, unlike the other glass street that we saw.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, because the main one is absolutely sharp, the others need to be out of focus.
Yeah.
I might take that. I might take that dark strip down the right hand side off. I might just crop very slightly.
Yeah.
I'd either do that or I'd lighten it. I'd paint a bit of grey over it, because your eye does go to that black bit a bit.
If you just cropped it a tiny bit on both sides and kept the symmetry, it would disappear, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that would work.
Do you think it needs the noise or the grain? I'm assuming the grain is in there deliberately.
I
think it's been sharpened, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm not sure it has. I'm not sure that's not been done for effect. Actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
The foreground's not grainy. The actual
no.
It's not grainy at all.
I think possibly what they're trying to do is mute the background. It doesn't bother me, to be honest.
No.
But,
I like the effect of it.
I think it works.
I do too. I think it's clever, simple but clever nonetheless. If that makes sense.
Someone's got a lot of wine glasses.
With nothing in them.
There's nothing.
Are we ready to vote?
Yeah, I've only got 2 and I broke one last night.
Oh, hang on.
Some funny noises going on.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just moving because I needed to plug something in. That was,
You had an alert on your laptop, did you?
Yes, yeah, all the tilt lights came up very suddenly. Sorry about that, folks. Right, okay, as you were. 16 of us, right, end polling. Afraid that's another no.
Shame.
Yeah, close.
I do really like that.
Has everybody seen that?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. A set of 3.
Okay, this is a rather nice high key type image. High key really appeals to me. I think if anything, I'd have tried to make it a bit more high key, actually. Like even more of the detail out and make it sort of very arty. I mean, it is quite arty anyway, and I do like the very small splashes of color in it in a mostly mono picture. I think that works really well. That you've just got these tiny little bits of red. I think that works really well. I like.
Yeah, I was just going to agree with you, Jill. I agree with that. I like the like fine art appeal, if you want, about it, and the red marks, the grey marks, the background actually make it because they come through the glass as well. I'm not sure about the white vignette all round it. I don't think it needs it. I think it's good enough without it, to be honest. But so I shall ignore that because I just don't think it needs it. So I'll make my eyes ignore that. But I think that's a lovely image.
I think it's very well
Very
done.
simple. Very simple.
I think this is another one, like I said earlier, having seen the original, it's Zoom doesn't seem to like these white vignettes.
Yeah, it will be interesting if we ever get a chance to take a look at these on the proper projector at some point, just out of curiosity.
And I think that would make a nice print, to be honest.
Indeed.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it.
Launch the poll.
Okay.
We're a bit short of votes if anyone else needs to vote or wants to vote. That's a no.
We are a hard lot.
MNP Tower, Vancouver.
Okay, this is another picture where the color is lovely because it's all blues and whites, which I always find pleasing. And there's definitely a lot of glass in this picture. personally, for me, I would have liked just a tiny bit more space on the right hand side. It seems very close to the edge, and it's kind of just for not much, but just a tiny bit more. I don't know what anyone else thinks.
Yeah, it's a lot of glass.
Yeah, it's a lot of glass.
A lovely curve.
Yeah, stunning building. And well seen and well taken. I mean, the colours are lovely. I don't think you want anything else in the sky. I don't think you want clouds or anything in the sky, because that will take away from the simplicity of it.
I mean, something which is totally out of your control because of the lighting conditions on the day. But I think the left hand side, the right hand side of the curve is absolutely lovely because it's in shadow. The bottom bit of the left hand curve is lovely, and if that could have been continued up, that would have been nice. Some of these panes are just, you know, it would have been nicer if they had a bit of colour in them. But I say, it's not your fault. It's a lovely picture, lovely design, lovely shape. Just the weather conditions, really. You can't be off of that.
Nice picture.
Well, they need a new window cleaner.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also possible.
It does show up all the dirt, I have to say.
I tell you what, I wouldn't like to clean the windows on that.
No.
Can you imagine having one of those window sling things trying to clean?
That's what they're thinking about.
Weird.
Yeah.
Any more?
Lovely shape, isn't it?
Didn't need to chase anyone this time. And that's another no.
We've rejected some lovely images tonight, haven't we?
Certainly have.
We are hard to please, I think, in this competition now.
Well, this one was, what was the one just called Reflections, was it?
Reflections.
Yeah, I do like this. Again, it's almost abstract in the way you've taken it, and I really like that. I think the colours are lovely.
Yeah.
And all the different patterns, and yeah, I think this just really works. So well done on seeing this and taking it well.
Yeah, I agree with... Go on, Karen.
So it's a lovely image. The diagonal parts of the building are nicely spaced, and you've got a little bit at each corner.
Yeah,
Very
that's
nice.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's technically very, very good. And as Jill said, the colours, the reflections, there's just so much to see, and it's pin sharp from front to back. The shadows, you can see in the shadows underneath those rails. That's a beautiful picture. For the subject of glass, that really suits.
Yeah, I think it's an excellent picture.
And a nice dynamic to it, you know, going at the angle.
Everybody okay to vote?
Yep.
Wow. Oh. One last one. Wow. This is a first for this evening. Do you want to guess which way?
100%.
100%. 100%.
100%.
Don't like any of you, you've guessed.
Well done.
That's brilliant. Well done.
Deserved, that was.
Fabulous. Oh, I'm going to do an interval, sorry, because I need a wee.
Okay.
Oh, thank you.
That's too much information, sir.
I know, but we are just over halfway, so we'll.
I was just going to ask how many.
Oh,
there you go. Perfect. Well done.
that looks promising.
I can breathe again, can I?
And if it comes up with the right picture. Yeah. Oh, now what's it doing? Oh, tab. Let's try that.
It's a glass of wine.
There we go. Three's Company.
This one's called Three's Company. Yeah, look at this. Is something very similar lines to the first picture, only in much more color. And I think this is really clever as well. I love the fact that you've got, I'm actually thinking about it. I'm not sure about the red and the blue at the bottom of the glasses. Either they both should be red or they both should be blue in my head. Probably both should be red. I don't know, what do people think? It's my only criticism because I think it's really, really clever, incidentally, and I really like it. But what do people...
I just wonder if the red stem would have been better in the middle.
Yeah, possibly. But then again, you wouldn't have had the opaque. I quite like the opaque one.
I was going to ask, is that an opaque stem, or has that been photoshopped in? Not that it matters.
I have no idea. I've no idea. It does look as if it's like it looks.
I was expecting to see the same pattern, you know, as the two side ones.
I think it's very, very clever, and I love the colours in the actual three glasses, the tops of the three glasses, the golds and the red in the middle. I think that works fantastically well.
Are they brimmed full of water, brimmed to the very top?
Looks like it.
Yeah. Marvellous.
No, very clever. Very, very clever.
Looks like they're on fabric.
It does. Yes, it does.
Just lose the bottom in a crease in that middle stem, but I don't know if that... So it's only... That's just being picky, really.
Is it my eyes, or are they slightly on the her?
Yeah, slightly to the right, I think.
A tiny bit. Yeah, I agree.
I think
Yeah,
it's
they look drunk, don't they?
Yeah.
I think it's a backdrop that is making them look as if they're slightly on the her.
Well,
They can't be too much on the her, all the water will be coming out.
Good point.
That's for sure.
I think you could get
Back
seasick
to an
looking at that,
optical
actually.
illusion. And no, I did only make coffee.
We had a judge once, didn't we? And he said it doesn't matter if your photographs are level or not. All that matters if they look level.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really interesting picture. I'm trying to compare it to the first one and say which one I prefer. I think on balance, I preferred the one with less color in it, simply because this is very bright. It's very bright on my screen anyway. It may not be this bright, but that doesn't mean I don't like it, because I do. But I'm
looking at this on my phone as well.
Right.
And the colours are intense on the phone, even more than on my screen here.
I would have been tempted. I think I would have been tempted to make both of those glasses blue, actually, and have the opaque one a reddish colour. I don't know.
Would you want a red bottom to the one that's got sort of the red in the top, though? That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's, as I was saying it, I was thinking to myself, would I really want that? Yeah, it's difficult.
I don't think the opaque bottom really goes, because if they all had opaque bottoms, then
Yeah, maybe you're right, actually, Derek. Maybe it would have been better to have the whole red one in the middle and have two transparent ones either side. I don't know. I think, yeah, possible. It is a bit...
It's another one you could play around with, couldn't you?
Oh, yeah. I think it's very, very clever. And something completely different.
Ready to go?
You could do that in mono as well, and it would look good.
Well, it would be a complete optical illusion in mono.
Yeah.
Ooh, everyone's quick off the mark again, and I'm afraid that's another no.
Okay.
3 glasses and a bottle of gin.
Yeah. This is a simple looking image that's got huge impact, again, because of the use of color. I mean, it's almost mono. It's just got those lovely sort of browny tones in the bottle, and I think that really works. I love the fact you've got the frosted glasses. That works. The key line is, I think, Brian, you say that was about right?
That is absolutely right. Yeah, just nice off-white. nice and tiny.
Again, it looks very simple, but it's a very cleverly taken picture, and I think it's been really well handled.
And it's got gin in it.
And it's got gin.
It's always a plus.
Or whiskey myself.
Big plus.
It doesn't look as if there's a lot of gin in
No,
that.
it doesn't
bottle.
look as though there's a lot of gin in it.
Looks as if it's empty, actually. Yeah.
The glasses are empty.
That's a bottle, a beautiful bottle. It really
It is, yes.
Gorgeous bottle.
Yeah.
The one you wouldn't want to get rid of, would you?
No.
The
There are
bottle
some
and the
lovely
glass at the
bottles
front
of
just
gin.
clash, don't they? At the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Just a little bit of separation there, I think, would have been nice.
Yeah, yeah, I see what you mean. That would have, yes, given it a slightly more 3D effect, perhaps. Yeah. It's still a lovely picture.
I don't know. I like it as it is.
It's a lovely picture.
You could almost take that small gap away and get away with it.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Good one.
Mm.
Clearly, we're all gin lovers.
Yes.
I'm going to guess that I know who did that one. I'm not going to tell you.
I think I might be having the same guess.
The Inner Man.
Inner Man. Okay. Oh, yes, I see it. I see it. It takes a while to see it, but there is another face in there. That's clever. And I really like the lighting on this and the color on this. I think that's very clever. What does everyone else think?
Yeah, the colours are good.
Not for me.
Not for you. Well, it's fair enough. It's not for everyone, but
Looks like there's a scarf or something inside the glass, isn't it?
I was going to say, is it just the way the scarf is or tie is folded to make it look like a face? So there's like that's a hairline.
Yeah, looks like hair, yeah.
Yeah.
I was struggling to see the other face in the face.
Yeah, I don't.
I can see. I can see.
I can see it, yes.
Face. Yes, I can.
I can
don't
see
know how you did it, but it's really clever.
I think it's where the scarf is filling the mould.
Would it be better? Would it be better without that piece of scarf at the bottom, or is that piece of scarf? Sort
No,
of
it's integral to it, I think.
Yeah.
It's not bothering me, but I just wondered.
No, I like it. The colours are lovely. It's been very well photographed. And I think that little bit of scarf coming out is needed. Otherwise, you'd think, well, what the hell is it been stuffed up there?
Yeah, and it grounds it a bit as well.
It's what, sorry?
It grounds it. Otherwise, it would look as if it was sort of floating in air.
Yes, yeah, it does. It does ground it. Yeah, it's like the mascot you'd find on the front of a starship.
Oh, we're back to space.
I was only joking.
Brian's up in the stars tonight.
Yeah, it's another Borg.
Yeah, it is a Borg. Well, you can see through their heads, can't you? Look. No, I do like this one. The colours are lovely.
Colours are spectacularly good, certainly on my screen.
It's very clever.
Very clever.
All okay to vote? And that's another yes.
Glass half full.
Well, it's not a half full, really, but this is another very clever. It's rather like the one of Finchingfield, I think, in terms of the fact that the background is completely thrown out of focus. I think this one works better than the one in Finchingfield because there's not so much detail in the background. It's very simple. I don't know. What does everyone else think? I think that the actual picture in the looks like a a stopper rather than a glass to me. I think that's very clever.
It kind of makes sense of the other picture of the shape of the globe. You know, that's assuming this is the same author, but it is really effective, this one.
The only thing I'll say on my screen, it may just be my screen, is the grass is green. You can definitely see it green. I think I might have preferred it overall sepia. Don't know what other people think.
It's a pity that the tree doesn't quite come out of the top of the stopper.
I'm just going to say that.
Nice if it was contained within the top of the stopper.
I was just going to say that, Lorraine. I just need the lens just needs to, the tree needs to go up a little bit.
Yeah.
Just so that the trunk is coming out a bit. But I don't think it detracts from the image. Because
No,
it's a very good image.
Really,
these are.
Work, though.
Yeah, I think these are pointers to the way it could be improved. But it doesn't take away from what it is. I mean, I would like the horizon in the lens, the glass. What do you call these glass lens things? I would like that to line up with the actual horizon, and I'm sure it could be done. And the bottom of the lens is far too close to the edge of the frame. However, these what I'm saying are just minor points, and if they were done, it would improve the image. And yeah, these look like roots. You know, the image in the lens at the bottom there look like the roots of the tree. And yeah, I do like this one. I do like this one.
I love the way that you can actually see the tree 3 times in the stock.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
The square crop works perfectly, really.
Agreed.
Okay.
Yep.
One person left to vote if they want to.
Can't make up their mind.
If they don't in a second, I'm going to hit stop.
Okay.
And I'm afraid that's just missed out.
Oh, that's a pity.
Close.
Wine bottle and glass.
Okay, I love the idea of this one. I love this. I love the lighting in it. I love it as an abstract picture, but for me, it's not saying particularly glass. I know it is glass and it fits and everything, but for me, it could be anything. I do like it. It's kind of almost like a piece of modern art to me, and I as for that, I really do like it. And I actually like the fact that your key line isn't quite round the edge, because I think that kind of adds to the feel of it.
No, I like this one. You can see it's, well, I think I can recognise it as glass. Yeah. And I just love the shapes. It's all about shape. This is shape and lighting. The only thing I might have been tempted to do is just to lift the shadows. That was all, just a tiny bit, so that around the top of the bottle where you have that foil, you could just perhaps make out some of the shadow detail. But other than that, this is all about shape and light, and we know they're glass, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't querying it's
no,
it's glass theme.
Oh no, you said you could see they were glass, but it just wasn't enough of it for you. But for me, there's enough, and yeah.
I mean, I don't like the picture. I do. I think it's great, but
can I say I think this is a lovely image. I think that it succeeds very well because of A, the shape of it, and 2, because it invites you in to actually ask you to look and see what it is. It's only when you get into it that you look at it, you can see that it's a bottle on the left-hand side and a glass on the right-hand side. That's a tremendous image.
I think it's absolutely stunning, and but it looks just a tiny bit too dark. But I just switched the light off in the room so that I had better contrast, and it looks fabulous.
That's an interesting point, actually, Steve. Yes.
Oh, I might do that. Yeah.
I think that's. I do love it. I think
it does improve it.
Has the glass actually got wine in it?
It has.
Yeah.
Yes, it's got something. It's got a line there, so I'm assuming that's the liquid level.
Not sure about the key line. I don't think that's white. Is a colour been picked up, or is it just my screen?
I think it's. I think it's grey.
Yeah.
It's the same colour as the wine, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I've got. The same colour as the wine, and
I see. I haven't got that. I've just got a grey on my screen.
Yeah. And again, I'm not. That's a personal preference. I'm not too keen on coloured key lines, but
Can other people see something in the top left-hand corner? Something. It's not pure black, is there, or is it mine?
I can't see anything, but my screen's not.
No, I can't see anything.
Oh, good. Oh, it's lovely, absolutely lovely.
Yeah,
I think it's lovely. I do think it's lovely.
Right, conversation has stopped, so I'll let you vote. And that's another yes.
Stock exchange. Oh, that went too quick for me. Portugal.
Okay, I don't remember seeing this one on the run through. I must have blinked and missed it or something. That it's a beautiful picture, but to me, it's more about the gold plate than the glass. I will be honest with you. That's what's hitting me. Rather, I mean, yes, it's got glass in it, and it's a picture with glass in it. So I'm not querying its relevance, but to me, it's all about the gold paint and the gold patterns.
Yeah, I agree with you.
lovely image though.
Oh, it is. It's a gorgeous image, and the colours are beautiful.
That would work somewhere else, but not enough glass for me. But
looks as if it's got a lean to the right as well.
Lean to the right,
Yeah,
easily corrected though.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, so just looking at all the detail in those columns, it's actually exquisite.
Absolutely stunning.
This is not Coming and Going Church, is it, or Halstead Church?
I think
it's the stock exchange.
Portugal, yeah. It needs that black
They're the only
barrier
people who can
taken out
afford gold, aren't they?
on the left hand, the bottom left corner needs that.
Yeah. You could clone that out quite easily, I think.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
Yeah, I agree. That is a bit of a distraction there. But it's an amazing view, amazing thing. Nice and very nicely taken, and the colours are beautiful.
You could even lift the detail a bit more with a bit of texture. I think.
As long as you don't overdo it,
Yeah.
Very easy to overdo it, but yeah, it's beautiful.
All okay to vote? One last person, if you'd like to.
No, I won't.
My fractured gallery.
This is clever. This is really clever. Like three almost surreal images within a set of glass. I think this is very, very clever. I love the fact you've given it to us in mono. I don't think it would have worked as well in color at all. But yeah, I think this is clever. Other people?
Yeah, this is like 4 bits of modern art. This is all put together. You know, top right, it's almost like a figure 2, isn't it? And then the one underneath it, I can see a couple of oil wells in the reflections. And
they look like 2 heads back to back, don't they?
Yes, they do. Yeah, 2 heads back to back in that one. And then in the bottom left, you've got an eagle flying, and oh, I don't know. Yeah, it's just amazing what you can see in it. Up in the top right hand, you've got lots of musical notes flying about there. It's like a bit of modern art. It's lovely.
I tell you what, I see in that bottom one with the 2 heads back to back. I see the Eiffel Tower in the middle of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I call them oil rigs, but it could be the Eiffel Tower. Yeah. But no, this is lovely. This is very, very well done.
Very clever. And beautifully handled.
And I love the contrast in it as well. And I agree with you, Jill. It needs to be black and white.
Yeah, it does.
Definitely needs to be black and white.
Make a lovely panel.
Ready to vote? And that's another good one gone through.
We have more yeses than nos for this round, don't we?
Sorry?
We have more yeses than nos for this round.
Yeah, so we have to whittle them down at some point.
I'm not sure, because for some rounds we haven't had the full 8, so
okay, but we'll see how many we've got at the end.
Exactly.
How many do we put through, Susan? How many do we put through?
8, but there's
I think
some rounds that haven't got go
Yeah.
through, so we said we could keep some in reserve.
We're 9 at the moment.
Okay, well that nine is certainly acceptable.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't remember what this one was called, but this is a nice
study in white and purple, I think.
Like glass flowers taken somewhere or another. They're very tightly cropped, and I don't know whether we'd want to see more of some of them. I don't know, what do people think? I like the treatment it's been given. It looks to me like it's had a glamour glow put on it, and I think that works. But what do we think about the crop?
Well, the crop's all right as far as I'm concerned.
A little light bit across the top. I prefer that down a fraction.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I don't know why, but where the mauve, is it mauve?
Yeah.
I think glass overlaps the white glass, the big flower. I find that distracting. I know it's it shouldn't, but I do. And there's this orange stem.
Yeah, I agree. I think the overlap is absolutely lovely, Brian. I really like that. But you're right about the vertical straw that sticks down. It'd be nice to clone that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Yeah, good comment.
Do you know, when it first come on the screen, I thought it was too dark. But when your eyes get used to it, there is lovely detail in those flowers. Lovely, lovely detail.
I wonder if the overlap was the other way around, with the purple underneath.
Well, I mean, that's how it was. That's how it was taken, isn't it?
Yeah,
And I doubt you could change that. But yeah, it's just, it sticks in your eye. But it's a lovely picture.
The one that won't go through.
Six glasses.
They certainly are. And I'm just trying to get my eye around them. They're all each individually well taken. I'm not sure how well they work together as an overall image. What do people think? I'm not sure.
Lovely, they are lovely in their own right. I don't think it's got as much impact as some of the others tonight.
Maybe that's the problem, that it's up against some really strong pictures.
Yeah, and it's just impact, isn't it? And individually, they're very well done. Very well done.
It's like if you were looking at a panel, those two very strong glasses on the top left and right might be better down the bottom.
Well, I was wondering if a tumbler in the middle at the bottom, instead of a stemmed glass, would balance it.
Yeah.
Yeah, not sure.
They're not quite evenly spaced in the frame either, which is a pity.
I think that's the thing that's getting to me with the two tumblers. One is considerably larger in the picture than the other one, and that's bothering me just a tiny bit.
Am I being picky by saying I think one's a vase and not a glass?
I think you're right.
It's quite an unusual shape, isn't it, for a glass? But it doesn't matter.
That looks like a thistle to me. You'd have your wee dram out of that.
Isn't that the thing? When
That's
you
a
serve
vase,
whiskey,
you've got a bottle, wouldn't you?
when you serve whiskey and water, isn't that the thing that has the water?
Quite possibly.
Could be.
I never take water with it. So I wouldn't know.
Actually, I think if the two middle pictures were reversed,
swapped up, top to bottom.
That would be the balancing act, wouldn't it? Because then you'd have,
that would make it better.
It would help a lot, and I just think that the two tumblers should be the
same size
in the image, and I tend to prefer the one that's smaller than the one that's larger, because it's more in keeping with the other glasses. I think that one's just really big.
But what you mustn't do is have two glasses the same. You need to make one bigger or one smaller. Otherwise, you get too much repetition if you had two glasses the same.
Well, you can see that they're different because they're quite different markings on them.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. You've got to keep them different and just change the size.
Nice idea. Nice idea. Panel of 6 next year.
Yeah.
All ready to vote? Okay, and sorry, that one's not made it either.
Glass eye.
There's another interesting picture in that I really love the bit in the middle, the sort of like almost like flower effect in the middle. I think that's glorious. I do find the brightness of the outer rings is taking my eye away from the central bit just a little bit, and I'm wondering if you could crop that tighter in, so you just got those two circles.
Make it a square.
Make it a square, and just darken the top bit down a little bit. You'd have a much stronger image. Because I think that middle bit is stunning. But it is that big white gap in between the second and the third ring is really overpowering on my screen. It may just be my screen.
I think it's a zoom thing, like Susan was saying, with the whitish images.
You're quite possibly right. Yes.
Yeah.
Because like the middle bit is glorious. Lovely patterns.
Was that another one that was darker, Susan, when you saw the original?
It's not as bad as the other two. I think because you've got that, there's less white than the other ones. But yeah, I think Zoom seems to have that same effect on anything that's got fairly bright white patches in it.
It's a shame.
I think is we do the right thing when we send our images to judges in advance, because they do see the true image before we do.
Yeah, it's very difficult to make judgments when you're looking at it on screens like these, I'm afraid.
I think it's probably, it may be something for us to learn from though. You know, that if we're putting them on Zoom, just think about what they would look like on Zoom.
All okay to vote?
Yeah.
And that's another no.
Window shopping.
Okay, this is another nice bit of street photography. To me, it's not screaming glass. Glass, there is glass in the picture, but it's kind of incidental to the image, because the image is all about the lady with her. I don't know what anyone else thinks.
I think with the reflection,
I suppose there is a reflection. Yeah, that's
2/3 of the picture is, well, maybe not 2/3, but at least 50% of the picture is glass, isn't it?
yeah, true.
Yeah, but it's the difference or the distance between the woman and the reflection, isn't it?
Maybe if she was a bit closer, and I know there's nothing at all you can do about it. Then it would.
No.
If you cropped her out in the left-hand side and just had the glass and the reflection in it, it's fabulous.
Actually, that's quite powerful.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Square crop from the top right-hand corner.
Yeah, that is quite powerful. Doing that, it gives it a whole different feel, and it actually feels almost quite sinister.
Just for this theme, it would work, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great street photography, though.
Oh yeah, not denying it.
The way she's framed by the opening is lovely.
Really good.
Yeah, I love the picture itself. Is excellent.
Oh, I'm not denying that at all. Not at all.
Already?
Yeah.
Is the wind blowing her hair, or has she got one of those fascinators on?
I don't know is the answer to that.
I think it's the wind, because if you look in the reflection, you can actually see.
Yeah, you can
Oh,
see.
I don't know.
No.
There's something behind her, isn't there, in the picture?
Yeah, dustman or street sweeper.
Everyone voted who wants to?
I think she's got something on her head, Steve.
Yeah, I do love that.
Feather or something, yeah.
I'm afraid that's another one that's not got through.
Behind
It'd
glass.
so well in a monochrome competition, though, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
Yeah. Yes, I think there's a lot here tonight, or quite a number that I'll put into the consideration pot for external competitions.
Yeah. I actually really like this. I love. I don't know whether you've put a texture on it or not, but if you have, then it really works, because the glass just looks so worse for wear that I just love it, and I love all the bits and pieces in the frames, and I'm actually trying to crop it just to without this to see if it just on its own it works. But actually, I quite like. Actually, no, I think I like the surround. I don't know, what does everyone else think? I'm enjoying this.
It needs that arch of bricks along the top.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I like the snow.
Yes.
I'm loving the broken glass. The broken.
Really works.
Don't you think that's a bit distractive, though, breaking the glass?
Yeah, it is.
Just to take a picture.
You have to suffer for your art. Or windowed it in this case.
No, I really like this one.
Yeah, that bit of red coming through, it's just great. Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is a really good picture. Oh, they're all really good actually tonight. But
another great PDI picture, or even a print.
Definitely.
Okay.
I wonder what it would be like in mono.
I don't think it would work in
It
mono.
wouldn't work as well, I don't think.
It's got impact, hasn't it?
It does. It does.
And snow, is that snow on the window ledge?
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah.
Okay, that one's just got in.
Hey.
Prismatic Pyramid.
Yeah, I love the colours in this one, and I love what you've tried to do. I'm not sure if it completely works for me. I think I'd have liked a little more in focus than is not all of it, but a little more. And I'm not sure I really like the white.
No, I don't like the corners.
They're distracting a little bit, I'm afraid, to me.
Yeah.
Colours are beautiful.
Looks like it's a ring. That's a hell of a ring.
You don't know how big it actually was, though, Brian.
Well, that's true. But you look at the bottom there. I think it might not be a ring, but it's just.
Might just be reflection, mightn't it, Brian?
Could be.
On a
Could
black
be.
surface.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm afraid for me that it's these white corners that are dominating the screen at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's fine because the
Yeah,
colours.
the depth of field and the white corners are off-putting.
Lovely idea though, and you know, if it's your prism, you can take it again, because I think the colours are really worth doing something with. They're beautiful.
If the object was symmetrical in the frame, the corners, the curved corners, might reflect the four corners of the object.
Yeah, interesting idea. Yes, I see what you mean. Yes, it's certainly worth playing with, because I mean, it's gorgeous. The thing is gorgeous.
You wouldn't have enough corners, would you? I don't know.
Kind of got four corners. I don't think you could make it a square though, could you?
No.
Because of the angle of the camera, but I can see. I think I can see why the corners have been rounded off. It's to kind of not reflect, but sympathise with the shape of the object in the middle.
Okay, yeah, okay, I get that, but the problem is because they're really white.
Yeah.
They're taking you around. Maybe if they'd been like a really soft, darker color, it might not have. It might have had the impact that whoever took the picture was wanting.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just too stark.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no, sorry, finished.
Yeah. And share. I'm afraid that's another one that doesn't go through.
Light.
The light. Yes, this is another interesting image. Looking at it, and I'm enjoying it.
I'm waiting for Brian to come in with his spaceship idea.
Oh yeah,
You must have read. You must have read my mind.
Not difficult.
Or in space somewhere.
This happens to be a spacecraft that's trapped inside a light fitting.
Rather than a ship in a bottle, we've got a spaceship in a light. Yeah.
All joking aside, it's been nicely taken, nicely seen. I do like the background, the blues and the shadows of the background there, and the overall colour, the blueness. You know, so that there's a lot going on there.
The one thing I might do is if there's something coming out the top of the light, these four little things coming out, I take those out because my eye's going to them.
He wouldn't be able to communicate with his starbase then, would he?
You have some antennae, haven't you?
I'm taking away his only means of communication. Oh.
Beam me up.
I do like it. I do like it. Yeah, there's a lot of reflection and stuff in there. I'm seeing a lot of reflection in there. Which, I'd quite like to see you could probably take that out. These two white bits in the middle that aren't attached to the light. I can see sort of, I don't know. Well, actually, I don't know what I'm looking at, but I'm looking at a reflection. If you took those out, it might.
No, they're the eyes.
Oh, they're the eyes. The eye. Oh, I'm sorry, they're the eyes. So we've got a face. Actually, there is a kind of a face there.
Yeah,
there is. I can see a face. Yeah, a face.
Another
Is.
book.
No, it's just a very interesting picture.
It is. I like the colours.
Mm.
all okay to vote?
Yeah. Mm. And that's the last one, isn't it?
It is.
Yay, we've done well. It was very, very difficult
Oh.
tonight. They were all so good.
Apologies for that.
Right, so we need to pare this down by 2. How are we going to do that?
If you wrote down the scores,
Yeah,
couldn't
we
you
just
just go
go
by
by
the scores,
score.
Jan?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
What, the lowest 2 scores?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
check them out.
Okay, hang on.
Was it 3 glasses and bottle of gin that got 100%, didn't it?
Reflections got 100%.
Oh, reflections, sorry.
Then we had 1, 2, 3 with 88%. Refraction, In the Bathroom, and Lens Ball Madness. Then we've got
86, did you say, Jan?
down to, sorry,
86, did you say?
88 for those 3.
88, thank you.
There was one that only got 60 dead.
3 glasses and a bottle of gin got 81. Then I think we've got 2 at 75, Wine Bottle and Glass, and The Inner Man. That's 7, yeah?
Yeah.
And 75. Got...
There was
Oh,
definitely
hang on a minute, sorry. Bit of paper's not quite working here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, it's okay. Oh no. Oh, the pressure, I can't cope.
There was definitely one that only got 60%. So that one
There was one that only got 60%. That was fruit juice in a jug.
So we're saying that one's probably going to go, sadly.
Yeah, and 75, 70. Oh, sorry, there's 3 at 75, Inner Man, and did I say Wine Bottle and Glass?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. What was the other one? 2119.
Inner Man, and My Fractured Gallery.
23. Yeah.
I got 75. Right, so the 2 that don't get in are Behind Glass at 69 and Fruit Juice in a Jug at 60. They're the lowest 2 if you're just going to knock them out by the by that basis.
That's the first way of doing it, though. It is sad because I mean, so many good pictures didn't get through tonight.
The great thing about Top Dog is that you can use them again, can't you?
You can.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And also, I'd like to say, because this is the last Top Dog, as you're aware, before we go to the judge, correct me if I'm wrong, Jill, but I think that throughout the 6 rounds, you know, we've had a really good discussion about the images, and we've had lots of suggestions about how to improve them. And as I say, correct me if I'm wrong, but it was always the case with this competition that you could take some of those corrections on board.
Oh yeah.
As long as it didn't fundamentally alter the whole image. So if the suggestion was, just take that spot out, or just move this, or just clone that, that was completely acceptable. Is that still the case?
I think you can change it almost as much as you like, can't you, Brian? Really, if you're going to enter it into a normal club competition.
I know. I'm talking about for the final.
I don't have a problem with that, but I don't think that's the way we used to do it. But I actually don't have a problem with that. I don't know, something maybe to talk about in committee.
I thought for the final, these were the images that were submitted. So.
Oh right, yeah. Sorry, yeah. I was happy to stand corrected, but I thought we could make those minor alterations. That was all.
We don't take these back in again. We use the ones that we've already got.
Okay, it's fair enough. Yeah.
Can we look at the authors of the final set?
Hang on.
So we have. Does anybody want to go through and ask questions of any of them?
Yeah, I want to ask a question. Right. Okay.
Not just of the
That's Andrew. Andrew Roses.
Rosie's got 2.
Oh, Steve, your lens ball is wonderful.
It's fantastic.
Love it. Oh, I thought, Lorraine, you had the wine bottle and glass. I was wrong about the gin, though.
Oh, yeah. So was I.
I think we have
got that one right.
I think I probably did.
Is that a good gin, Bra?
That was a lovely bottle of gin, that was. It was good for 2 reasons. One, it was a nice gin, and 2, it was given to me.
Perfect.
Do we want to go to look at the whole?
Yeah, just go.
That'd be good.
Kind of a light box. If anyone wants to ask questions. That's what we normally do.
If I can get this right. Where's the light box? I will get this right by the time we stop doing 2.
Right. Does anybody want to ask any? If we just scroll down, ask anybody.
Yeah. Well, I want to ask about. Well, I keep saying I'm going to give up on Top Dog because I'm useless.
You want to put the authors' names up for these?
Yeah.
I'm just thinking it might be easier, especially if not everyone might be on the.
I want to just explain what I did here.
Cool.
That's mine because, that's the only way I could put a key line around it by doing a weird vignette because I can't do key lines in Lightroom.
All right, I didn't know that. I don't actually mind the corners. It's just that because they were white, they were kind of catching my eye. That was all. I think the color.
You can only do a vignette in white or black, can't you?
I suppose if it's a vignette, yeah.
So I don't know how to do a key line.
I do it in Photoshop. There must be a way of doing it in Lightroom. I would have thought. Does anybody
discovered it?
Isn't it borders?
Yeah, get borders.
Borders.
Borders. Just make it really, really thin.
Get a plain white border with no scrunchy things on it, and then make it a very thin one.
So where's borders in Lightroom?
I think you have to do it in the print module.
Oh right, so yeah, and the Lightroom doesn't have a print module. I have to go into Lightroom Classic to do that. That's okay, I can do that.
And I think you can, when you go to select the color, you can put the cursor on the image, and then you can go, so you can have a key line of any color that's in the image.
And it's interesting because what you said, Steve, about I did take one where it was straight on and then it had more of a reflection because this is like a Swarovski crystal pyramid, and it did almost take it into the 4 corners. I might have been better off using that one.
I could see what you were trying to do, and I think it, I thought it was well on the way.
It's thinking outside the box for me. It's as far as I can get.
Where was the window, Jan?
Just in a farmyard, just down the road. There's a house backs onto the farmyard, and that's their their shed effectively. And yes, it was snow. It was those few days of snow we had.
This is absolutely irrelevant, but what I love about that picture is trying to figure out the history of that window because the arch, the bricks, the arched brickwork,
just beautiful,
is too small for the window.
Yeah.
I couldn't, and I thought, oh, I see what they've done. They've taken out a small window and put in a bigger window, which is wider than the one that was there before, which is why the arches aren't there isn't enough of an arch. And then, but the window itself looks so old and weathered. And I thought maybe that the lintel collapsed and they put a little arch in. I don't know. It's just a.
Perhaps I'll have to go back and ask.
There's a massive incongruity there, which is fascinating. Nothing to do with the picture.
Could be to do with window tax. When they reduced the window tax, they decided to put a bigger window in.
Could be.
I love your fractured gallery, Steve. I think that's a really good picture.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, I've got loads and loads of them. And I'm going to start putting different pictures inside the room to make different images in the glass bricks.
Sounds good.
I've got to ask Bruce, that middle top glass, was I right? Is it a vase rather than a glass?
It is a glass. I believe.
Oh, right.
I believe it's actually for tasting whiskey.
No, someone was right then.
It's in a thistle shape.
Thistle, yeah.
It is a thistle shape.
You've definitely got a panel of 6 there, Bruce.
Sorry? Yeah, there.
Definitely got a panel for next year of panel of 6.
Well, I was pleased with it. I was initially worried by all the reflections, but I actually they work well with the crystals.
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't have any problem with the reflections. There's just that one glass just being slightly bigger than the other.
Well, the biggest one is middle bottom. That's huge.
Yeah, I just mean in the frame.
The thistle glass is tiny. My initial plan was I put them all on the same spot and kept the camera still, but the sizes were so different that it didn't work.
Yeah,
I had to try and bring them up to the same size to make it work. So
it's only that one in the corner that looks slightly bigger. The tumbler.
It was all done by eye, and it was done quite quickly, really. So
very good.
I needed to get something in. No, I don't like delving too much into archive. They were both fresh pictures.
Yeah, good for you.
I took it specifically for this. The one I liked was the street, glass street. And I purposely kept that out of focus because I wanted to emphasize the perspective.
Right.
Because otherwise it'd look like 2 rows of glasses, which is what I didn't want. I wanted it to look like a street.
To me, it looked like a forest.
That's fine. That's fine. But I wanted to get the perspective. So the glasses got smaller as they went down. And then I just wanted to try and make it look like it was, achieve the perspective. But
you're almost there.
Quite well.
You can see the zoom effect on those 2 images now, can't you? When you're looking at them in the light box.
Yeah, I tell you that one of mine, the Murano fish. I tried it with blue backgrounds. I tried it with textured backgrounds, all sorts of things, and it just didn't work. I tried all sorts of things. In the end, I thought the soft, and it was a soft white that I used. I thought that was going to be my best bet.
What are we looking at, Jill? What are the actual objects in the picture?
They are Murano glass statues that I bought in Venice.
Yeah.
One of them is the same one taken 3 times. But I took them on my light box.
Right. So you could you change the color of the light box?
I can change the color of the background without any problem, but I did try and it just didn't feel right. But
really pale pink or something?
I'll try. I was trying blue because I was trying to think it was supposed to be an aquarium. But I can try other things.
Could you dehaze it, Jill?
Sorry?
Could you dehaze it? Would that take it down a bit?
It would, because I put a Glamour Glow on it because I quite liked it because I've got this thing about Glamour Glow. But yeah, I mean, if it's worth it, I can play with it. I mean, it was something I just did for this competition out of fun, really.
I like Derek's reflections. I think that's my favourite this evening.
Yeah.
Very good. It is very good.
I like that.
The unanimous vote, didn't it?
Yes.
I think it was the only one that did get
Mm.
100%.
On Creative Images video. I'm going to talk about brushes.
Pardon?
Where was it taken, Derek?
Australia. Sydney.
Lovely. The lovely colour combination that
Yes.
Jill commented on, and of another picture, the sort of strawy yellow and the blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very well taken, Derek. Very well taken.
Oh, and the aerial on the light keeps the pigeon off.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That was taken in Sydney Opera House.
All right. Right.
And was the Finchingfield one by the same person who did the glass stopper one? I didn't.
Mark,
Yeah,
that's
Mark.
me. Yeah,
Yes.
you can tell it's the stopper.
Yeah.
It's very
I
clever.
assumed it was, but wasn't sure.
Yeah, it's an old wine decanter we've got, which actually hasn't seen much action because the wine tends to go straight into the glasses these days.
Is that a problem?
Not for us, no. But yeah, I saw some pictures of someone doing something with a lens ball, and I thought, well, what have I got that looks like a lens ball? And it was a glass stopper. So it was quite interesting.
I think the stopper, the one with the tree, is really clever.
Okay.
I think this Finchingfield one would be fabulous if you played around and cropped it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So you think crop it from the side?
Yeah.
I'd crop it from the
I'd
top.
crop it quite close in square.
Yeah.
You've just got a tiny bit. You've got too much of the background is taking away from what's in the stopper.
Okay.
What was it balanced on, Mark?
It was actually balanced on a tripod, which was a bit dicey.
Can you generate a bottom, a bit more a stripe on the bottom of the picture so it looks as if the glass is elevated from it's not so close to the edge?
Yeah, that's a good point. I'd have to have a look at that.
Because you could just copy the picture, flip it upside down, glue it to the bottom, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Just wanted to say I'm going to take my leave of you all. Thank you very much tonight. A good competition. Wonderful images.
Returning to the home planet.
I am returning to my home planet. Yeah, I've been summoned.
Good night then, Brian.
Good night.
Bye, Brian. Thank you for your comment.
I'm going now too. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Next meeting next.
Bye.